everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Nicole Chantell, and if you like beauty videos, 31 days of Halloween and Friday vlogs, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a part of my makeup family. With all that being said, let's jump right into this video. Hello my loves. So today we are going to do a fun video. We are ranking my Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. You all know that I love Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, but there are some that just don't work for me, that are just no good. And by no means I am not bashing the brand or the company at all. And just to let you guys know, this is just my opinion on how the palettes worked for me. If any of the palettes that I talk about today didn't work for me but worked for you, that is great, and I'm so happy that they worked for you. But unfortunately they did not work with me. Just like all products that I test out could work for me, but it might not necessarily work for you, or vice versa. That's just how it goes. So let's start off with one of the worst. So I purchased this. This was actually my first Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette that I purchased, and it was the original Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. I actually passed it on and gave it to my daughter. I was just like, it's not working for me. The quality wasn't there. Pigmentation, it felt like I had to build it up so much, and it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, because I was like, wow, this is my first Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette and I'm having bad experience with it already. Like, I just was so not impressed. It just didn't really look nice on me. Like when I first did one look with it, this was a long time ago. Like I'm talking about when the palette first came out, so this has been quite some time now. It looked beautiful on me at first, but then when I started to play with it more and more, I was just like, it's not wowing me, and that's something that I need to come from an eyeshadow palette. Like, it needs to wow me. I need to be excited about it, and I want to grab it all the time and use it. But that palette, unfortunately, did not work for me. So this was the first one, not the one that's been remade. I didn't even buy that one. I was just like, I had such a bad experience with the first one. I'm not going to get the second one. So unfortunately, that palette did not work for me. So the second palette that is the worst for me, that did not work for me at all whatsoever. I did a full review and look on it. I will leave the link right here for you guys to check it out. I love neon colors. I love neon pink, neon green, neon purple, neon orange, neon yellow. You get the drift. I just love neon colors. So when this launched, I was really excited for it, and it's the neon green palette. After I did that video, an hour after, I did not touch my eyeshadow at all whatsoever, and it just vanished off my lids. Like, it was there 1 minute and gone the next. I actually returned it to my local Sephora, and I was like, this palette has to be the worst. Like, would you believe it if I told you I did a look and now it's not on my eyes, and I didn't wash anything off? It just like vanished. You know, I had to really build up that color. Like, I want something that's neon green and really vibrant, and that'll just pop on your eyes, and that's what I was expecting with that palette. I felt like I really had to build that color up to even get it there to that point, and then for it to just fade an hour after of wearing it, I was just like, thank you, because I was so hyped up for that palette, and it just totally fell flat for me. But if it worked for you, let me know in the comments down below. Like, I didn't do anything different. I applied my shadow the way I always applied it, used the same brushes as I always use. So I don't know what it was, if it was just the formula, because where it was trying to create those neon colors, if it was really hard to do that. But that palette just flopped for me, and it was such a disappointment. So the next palette that I'm going to talk about, I have here in my hand. So this one here is one of the first mini palettes that I actually purchased, and it's the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsession palette. Once again, we have the plastic, or not the plastic, sorry, the cardboard packaging, and the colors in here are beautiful. Really great quality, really great pigmentation. The colors there, how they blend is there. The reason why this is like lower on my list is because unfortunately I just don't reach for this palette anymore, and that is kind of sad, because this was a palette that I would use a lot. The colors are beautiful, but I just don't reach for this palette anymore. So this is why it's on the lower end of the ranking of the palettes. But it is a beautiful, beautiful palette. The quality is gorgeous. Way better than the neon green palette. Now this palette here, I actually have on my eyes with another Huda Beauty palette. So I mixed two of the Huda Beauty palettes together. This one here is the Huda Beauty, the Electric palette. This one is so fun and vibrant, and the quality, the pigmentation is there. Once again, just like the Mauve Obsessions palette, the reason why the Electric Obsessions palette is a little bit lower on my ranking is because I really don't grab for this a whole lot. But today when I did this eye look in conjunction with another Huda Beauty palette, I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be an accent palette for me with all the other palettes, because this look that I created is so, so fun. I'm actually going to tell you which ones I used. I used this orange one right here, and I used this pink shade here, this purple shade here, and this red shade right here. And of course, they are all mattes. The mattes in this palette are beautiful. Absolutely love it. And I think this is such a great like little accent palette to have to mix with other palettes. Unfortunately right now this one here is sold out online, so hopefully it does come back and it's just sold out for a limited time. But yeah, it's just a real fun palette, and the quality in it is really truly great. So the next palette I'm going to be talking about is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. When I seen this, I knew I had to have it because of the purple tones in this palette. I did use this palette quite a lot. The pigmentation quality is there. How they blend is there. They don't become muddy. The mattes are beautiful. Like the shimmers and the glitters are just gorgeous. Like it's a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I just love it. And out of all like the say the diamond palettes, I'm going to call them, like after all the different stones, this was the only one that I did purchase from that line. But all in all, just a really great palette. And if you love purple eyeshadows, this palette here it'll just melt your heart. It is a gorgeous palette. You will love it. So if you're curious as to which eyeshadow palette I use with the Electric Obsessions palette, it's this one right here. It's the Nude Light palette. This palette is beautiful. Love the packaging, really nice and sturdy, and just love like the feel of it is so beautiful, and it's just so clean. Now, out of all the like nude light colors, there was Nude Light, Nude Medium, Nude Rich. This was the only one that I did purchase because I just love the colors in here. It really spoke to me, of course. And you know, you have beautiful neutral tones, and then you have some pop-up like pinks and purples. This middle shade right here, this nude shade, it is such a beautiful under the brow bone shadow. It just blended them so gorgeous together. So I'm just going to show you what colors I actually used with the two palettes combined together. Like you would never think about taking the Electric Obsessions palette and combining it with the Nude Light palette, but this is the eye look that I created with these two palettes. So what I did was I took this shadow here, this lightest shade, applied it all over my lid and underneath my brow bone. Then I went in with this kind of like, it's almost like a very soft nudie pink shade, and I just applied that into my crease. Then I applied this kind of mauve tone pink shade into my crease. And then I took this shade again and I blended it all together. So then I took this pop of purple and applied it into my crease, and I just blended it with this. And it almost like diffused it, so it's there and it's bright, but at the same time, it's like very subtle. And I did the same with the pink shade as well. And then with the orange shade. But it like really softened it up. So it's like a bit of boldness, but at the same time, it's not so bold. The quality is there, the pigmentation, everything is there with this palette. And I do truly love it that they have them in the plastic packagings. Like, what an upgrade from this to this. Like, so beautiful. Like I said, this is a great accent palette, and it definitely went well with the Nude Light palette. They just complemented each other so well. Pigmentation, quality, how they blend is all there in this one. Let me know in the comments down below if you have the medium or the rich one. So we're getting down to my final three, and this was hard to rank because all of them are beautiful. So this one here, I did a full video on it and I absolutely love it, and I was so impressed with it. And this is what I expected from the whole neon collection. This is what I expected with pigmentation quality, how they blend, how they don't become muddy, how they stay on the lids all day long until you remove it with makeup remover. And this is the Neon Pink palette. Oh, love this palette. Love the packaging, love the color, the quality. Like I said, the pigmentation, I use this palette quite a lot. It's like one of my go-to palettes for sure. I am obsessed with this palette. The quality is 100% there in this palette. Like, I know there's the neon pink, green, and orange. And like I said, the green just fell flat for me. I did not purchase the orange because I really didn't feel the need that I had to, because where I had these beautiful pink tones in here. I expected for the neon green palette to have the same pigmentation and quality as the neon pink palette, but it didn't. This one here is gorgeous. If you like love these tones, I recommend this palette 100% because it is a beautiful palette. You are not going to be disappointed. All the shadows in here perform so well. It is just a great all over palette, and if you want that pop of pink and just make it really pop, this here is going to do it for you. You're going to be so impressed with this palette. Once again, like I said, the packaging, love this cardboard packaging. Not cardboard packaging, love the plastic packaging. Not so much a fan of the cardboard packaging. So I'm really impressed with this, and I hope that she comes out like with more of these, like later on down the road, like different type of neon palettes, like maybe a neon blue, neon yellow, neon, what other color? Purple. I think those would be really cool, something different to see. So that'd be really neat if she comes out with something like that. But all in all, obsessed with this palette. So this one here is my second last one, and I have been using it since I got it for Christmas. It was a gift from my mother, and it is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. OMG, this palette is beautiful. The quality, pigmentation, everything about this palette is gorgeous. I am so happy that like her palettes changed over time, I guess, with the formula and everything else, because like I said, that rose gold palette, oh, that was just so terrible. And like for me, like for that to be my first experience with Huda Beauty's eyeshadows, like I was just, wow, I'm so upset. But this palette here is beautiful. Like just look at the colors in here. The shades in here are so gorgeous. All these shades complement each other so well. Like you could do a gorgeous like everyday eye look with the nude tones over here, and then you could go into the darker tones just to deepen it up for an evening look. Then if you want to have something fun, you could just take this like gorgeous turquoise shade here and pop it on your lid. But all these complement each other so well. This palette is beautiful. I haven't done a look here on my channel with this palette yet, but I definitely will for you guys. I will like not do so many purple tones because that's what I always gravitate towards, and I just can't help myself. But it's always nice to do something different, and I find with this palette I could definitely do something different with it. Love the fact that it has a full-size mirror. Love the fact that it is in a plastic case, and the packaging is just beautiful. Now the only thing that I wish this palette had was the concealer like they had in the Huda Beauty Nudes palette, Nudes palette. And I'm like, oh, I really miss that because I use that concealer a lot when I'm using that palette. So I just wish that it had the concealer in it. But all in all, you will not be disappointed with this palette. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And if you guessed it, we are finally down to the best Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. You already know what I'm going to say. If you're at home, say it with me because you know I'm going to say it if you've been with me for a long time. You know that this palette here has been in so many, like so many of my favorite videos. This palette here, when it first launched, my mother actually gave it to me for Christmas. So it's nice that she's, you know, giving me these for Christmas. The new Nudes palette. Love this palette. You know, I don't mind the cardboard packaging. I do kind of wish it was plastic packaging, but maybe later on when she comes out with more palettes, of course, that's probably the way she's going to go. I just love this palette. Like, this palette's after, I mean, it looks good on camera, but in person, this palette is a state. Like, it does not look good. Like, a lot of shadows in here, got a lot of dents. This shade here, which is Bare, it has a severe dent in it. Same with Lace and Love Bite, which is a darker shade right here. Tickle Play, like I use every single one of these colors in this palette. Like when I'm telling you this is my go-to holy grail, the best of Huda Beauty palettes, this is it because I use it so much. Love this concealer in this palette with the shadows. And of course you have a nice full-size mirror. You could go from day looks to night looks to any type of look really you want because it's just so beautiful. It is a gorgeous palette. This here is my #1 out of all my Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes that I own. This one here is #1. To me, this is the best out of all of them. Like I said, it's a go-to, holy grail, most used palette out of my entire collection of all my eyeshadow palettes that I have here in my room. This one here, I grab the most. I absolutely love it. So you guys, that's it from my worst to my best of the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. Let me know in the comments down below what Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes you have, what ones do you love the most, and what ones kind of flopped for you that you really did not like. Let me know in the comments down below. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!